Hello, everybody. Welcome to another weekly episode here at the YYC Real Estate Show. It's episode 41 and still fresh into the new year of 2024. We have myself, Zach is here in town, so happy to have Zach here over the holidays. Sebastian, of course, is here with me, and very excited to have a local fellow real estate agent here in YYC, Marcelo Correa. So we'll get to know Marcelo in a little bit here, but of course, let's dive into the weekly update. Now, to no surprise, over the holidays, Sebastian, you and I, we saw really slow amount of sales in the last week. So what happened in the first week here, or almost first week in January here, we saw 213 sales in all of Calgary for the last 7 days. And let's, out of curiosity, let's see what the highest sale was, 2.28. Elbow Park, second highest, we got 1.5 in West Hillhurst. And of course, we always like to see the lowest as well. This might be a typo. I'm assuming that's a typo.
Partial ownership.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, see typo.
Yeah.
We see typos sometimes. Like that's gonna be updated at 340, I imagine.
Yeah.
So it's not. So that's actually not the lowest sale. So lowest sale is 154, full asking price in Sinalta, and 160, $100 over the asking price in Sinalta.
Nice.
Same building too. Unit 301 and
really?
203. Yeah.
Must have been the same owner that sold it.
We don't know, but we'll keep that confidential.
Yeah.
Let's see how many active listings we have in town. Out of care, how many you guys think we have?
I want to say.
Because of the numbers.
3,000?
I want to say 2,100.
Because of the numbers, I'm gonna say 1,900.
Yeah, it was 2,100.
Traz?
Because of the numbers?
Nice.
No, that's not correct.
Oh.
1,773 active listings.
That's
So,
incredible.
I always do like to see, those that were waiting to list their home in the new year. Let's have a look at how many brand new listings there are. Brand new. So, wow, quite a bit, because I looked at it the other day and there was only 5 new listings. So as you can see, a lot of people that were on the fence decided to list their home now. So you have 14, 26, 39 so far. Wow, keep going, 64. So yeah, quite a bit. There was 75 brand new listings today. So again, all those people that were waiting to list, they've now started to put their self on the market. I have a few listings that I was waiting to list as well, and I'm going to wait until the end of next week, Thursday, to list those. And we can talk about them next week's episode as well. So anything you guys want to talk about, any deals over this holiday break that you guys were working on? I mean, we talked about mine, which was just special assessment and some condos. So
Yeah.
that's all I have as an update.
Yeah, personally, I had a couple showings, but nothing that hit. A lot of talks with my clients. Obviously, you will always want to follow up over the break and see how people are doing, let alone business or not. Wish people obviously Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. But I mean, I think everyone that I kind of talked to is kind of waiting until this new January market to see what the new year is going to bring. So it was slow for me personally. I know that. I mean, obviously some people were busy, but a lot of realtors I did talk to were pretty slow over the break. So I think it's all about getting out there now, and new year, new me, new people, new buyers.
Yeah,
so
of
hopefully we
course.
can get some business there.
Nice.
Let's see what's going on with the rates. You know how everyone was all excited about the new year and the bank holding steady on rates?
Yeah, no kidding.
So I know that they did hold steady.
What is it? 7%? No.
It's 5, but then plus prime, it brings it to a 7
Yeah.
and change. Yeah, so 7.54 all the way up to 8. But no one does a 1 year fix. They're normally going to do these ones here. So this is always prime plus. So if anyone you ask and they say, the rates are at 5%, when you do a mortgage and you buy a property, you're going to see around 7%. That's if you have the best credit available.
Yeah.
So the prime rate in Canada today is 7.2%. So
Okay.
But let's see if they hold steady, and we'll see about
What's the
that.
schedule for when they're gonna release or update the interest rates?
So let's see.
It's good to find out.
Next update. January 24th.
Yeah.
So January 24th, we'll have our next interest rate announcement. So we'll have an episode on the 25th,
Just click on that.
and
shot,
we'll we'll talk about that.
What do you think? It'll go up?
Everyone's hoping it's gonna finally come down.
Yeah.
So
I
let's
don't
see.
think it
You
will.
don't think it'll come down? I hope it does.
Yeah, I
Just
I
because of
don't
the way the
like
market is, the housing crisis, there's not enough stuff for sale.
just want to see if they say anything about the 24th and the schedule.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's all good.
We'll have a look and
Yeah.
see what happens later.
Yeah.
But let's introduce our guest, and our guest is Marcelo Correa. Please say hello to everybody out there.
Hello, my name is Marcelo Correa. I'm born and raised Calgary. Been a realtor for
Since-
2 years, but I've been a realtor for a while, but I took many years off.
Okay.
Yeah, 07, I believe you got your license.
Yeah, and that's how me and Shiraz met in
Mount-
physical class.
Yeah, Mount Royal College at the
Hey,
time,
months.
MRC.
When the real
course.
estate course was in person.
Yeah,
In person,
In
and we
person.
had to have 90% attendance.
yeah, at least, yeah.
So we were rushing some days to get there,
Yeah.
you know.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know it was in person.
It was in person, 3 months class, 8 hours a day, full
Wow.
time,
That's a commitment.
and yeah, it was
2 months.
almost 3, I would say, including the exams and the study break for the exams.
Yeah.
So it was all in about 3
And
months.
then back then it was all the
Oh, you had to take all 3, yeah.
commercial, residential,
Agricultural.
agricultural.
So you had to do the schooling for all 3 as part of the course. But when you took your exams, if you weren't going to do those, you didn't have to take the commercial or the agricultural exam, but you have to get the education in all of them.
Oh, okay.
So
That's a
then
lot
in
to
my
do.
mind, like I'm like, if we're getting the education, why not?
Yeah.
And so that's why I have all 3.
Did you pass the first time? You did
Of
the
course,
test?
yeah.
Okay.
Shiraz is a smart guy.
Was.
I remember the
Was.
commercial was hard. It
Yeah.
was that one you actually had to study for. The other
Oh
one,
yeah, it was a lot of
It was a lot of
math
common
and
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
The commercial it's just all math, right? It's all just calculating future costs and depreciation and that kind
Actually,
of
to
stuff.
memorize some
and
equations.
assets and depreciation of assets, those kind of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And then lease rates and stuff like that. So commercial's very different. But yeah, it was just a lot of math. But
Yeah.
so what brought you into real estate? Why did you want to get
Well,
into real estate?
Real estate, like everybody, is like freedom of time,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's not so free.
No.
And now like I'm a single dad, so it works out good. You know, like I could work at home, or I can drag them around with me, or I could leave them at my sister's for a bit. But yeah, it works for me as a single dad too.
Yeah, you couldn't do that if you had to go to your job and be there in like
Yeah.
8-9 hours, right? So there is definitely freedom, but don't get it confused that we work less than anyone else out there. In
No.
fact, we put in more hours, I would say. I mean, we're working if we have to at 8 p.m. We're not off the clock at 5 and that's it, right? So
But you can run to the school, pick them up, drop them
Yeah.
off, and then just keep going.
right.
Yeah.
So that for that part, and then yeah, I just
And we talk about Airbnbs quite a bit on the show. So I understand you have an Airbnb as well.
I have an Airbnb in Mexico and an Airbnb here in Calgary.
Nice.
So the one in Mexico is easy to run, especially now. Like their system has much better translating. Like before, it was like I really needed to like speak to people in Spanish and type out, but now it's like I don't even bother. I don't even know what language they speak. I just write everything in English. Whatever they respond is in English, and
Wow.
it's
That's
really
cool.
good. The translating. The only thing I've had problems with is my password for my Wi-Fi says viewpoint 206, so it translates viewpoint. So now I have to change my password to just numbers.
Oh, okay, that
Yeah.
makes it easy then.
Yeah, so but
Yeah.
it's only happened twice and just recently. So now I'm like, okay, I got to change that.
So what is viewpoint in Spanish? What do they say?
I don't even know.
Punto de vista.
Punto de vista, yeah.
Punto de vista. It sounds Italian.
And so they'll message me like, it doesn't work. I'm like, oh yeah. Viewpoint and translate.
Try it again.
So that, and then Airbnb here in Calgary at the Guardian, and I don't know if you guys know the building.
Yeah,
but,
the building well.
It's a sub penthouse, 1,700 square foot apartment, and beautiful view, and but that is tough because like Calgary has downtown over 1,000 Airbnbs.
Mm-hmm.
This one gets rentals because it allows pets, but it also is a pain in the ass for cleaning.
Yeah, I bet.
It's just 1,700 square feet. Yeah.
Dog hair everywhere in the on the
Because you allow pets now, because the building allows
37th floor.
Wow.
Right, but because the building allows pets doesn't mean you as an Airbnb host can allow them. You can just say no pets for your bookings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I would.
But
do
to
that.
stay competitive,
Mm-hmm.
my client wants pets.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
yeah.
You're doing good.
No, yeah, you got it exactly. So, as a fellow agent, is there any? Of course, we don't disclose any personal information, but we've shared some funny and cool stories about being real estate agents. So, is there something that comes to mind about like a crazy deal or something you didn't expect, or was there anything that comes to mind when if someone asks you like, what's the most memorable deal you've done?
Like a client interaction or anything like that.
No, nothing crazy. Just difficult buyers,
Mm-hmm.
and like right to the end. And unfortunately, this deal that I did, my client didn't have a lawyer. The lawyer that he was using was too busy and couldn't take him. So I referred a lawyer, and it turned to be a disaster.
Because of the lawyer?
The
because
lawyer, yeah,
Okay.
the lawyer did a holdback without verifying with my client, and it was about minor stuff, and we negotiated a price on the sale of the apartment where we lowered the price because of some of these things that were found in the home inspection, and then they kept coming back there going, oh, there's this, we're doing a holdback. I'm like, we negotiated that. Just called up the lawyer. I'm like, why'd you give them the holdback? Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. They just did it without even talking to me or talking to the other lawyer. So that dragged on. Like after closing, I literally was dealing with my client for the next 2 months. Hey, have you talked to a lawyer? Hey, I'll call them back. Yeah, what's going on? Oh, have they released some money? Oh, why did they do that? Oh, I want my money back. I was like, oh my God, man. It was like a disaster. And it was because of using a bad lawyer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like we talk about how we have a team in place, a mortgage broker we refer, a lawyer, a home inspector, appraiser, right? Cleaning companies. So as time goes on and you become more of a veteran in this industry, you find things out the hard way sometimes on who to refer and who not to refer.
Well, that was one of the other things, like in the contract, because we had negotiated the price lower. The guy wanted professional cleaning with receipts. I said, well, we negotiated a lower price because you're coming in to renovate. So we're not gonna do a professional clean. We're just gonna clean it.
Since you're gonna gut the place.
Yeah.
At closing, that was part of the holdback. The lawyer's like, yeah, you have to do professional cleaning. I'm like, it doesn't say receipts. I'm like, who determines what a professional cleaner is? Like, they went to school to be a professional cleaner? Like, what the fuck is a professional cleaner? We clean the fucking place, no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, they didn't say we needed receipts from a cleaning company. It said, we'll just clean it.
Yeah.
But they still held that back, like $300-400. I was like, ah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
So everything has to be written out in detail,
Yeah,
I learned that.
Yeah, definitely
Dollar
get
amount.
everything in writing, especially if you're doing holdbacks. Not only can you say, we want professional cleaning with receipt, we want the garage opener repaired, we want this oven repaired. You have to write a dollar amount next to those items that you're identifying as a holdback. So I have to say, professional cleaning with invoice or 500 holdback. Repair the oven or 200 holdback.
That's a good idea.
You have to do that.
I'll remember that.
Because lawyers, they can't just choose an arbitrary amount and they won't do a holdback because they're legally not entitled to put an amount arbitrarily. They can't just say, well, we'll just do 5,000 holdback and see how much the costs come in.
If the terms don't say holdback, technically they're not entitled to any holdback whatsoever.
The word has to be in there as well.
You have to put in holdback, the amount, and like even dates if it's supposed to happen after closing and everything.
The other disaster in that deal was the window coverings. It was a property. It was an apartment that had tenants.
Yeah.
When the tenants moved out, they took the window coverings, but there was this just shitty curtains. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. I go Home Depot, buy, put them all up. They're like, no, it's not the exact same ones that were there from before. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, they're newer and nicer. No. Then
we want those window coverings.
Want those
with the stains on them.
Man, the tenants hated me because I was booking showings like all day, right? And so the tenants said after they moved out, they didn't respond. They didn't want to talk to me. And so I was like, thinking I didn't want to put my client out, So I went and bought the window coverings because it wasn't that many. It was just an apartment.
Yeah.
No, we want the original ones. I was like, fuck. So
this was you representing the seller, obviously, and trying to keep. See, and then not only does that go to, like, you did a great job for your seller. You took on this and you stood up for any mistakes that weren't caught and things weren't in writing. But, where's the other agent involved in this, right? You should work together. You guys should have been working together on this. Perhaps splitting the costs, right?
She stopped answering it.
I've had issues like this with deals. And me and the other agent, just to put it to bed, we would just split. And say, hey, if there's an issue and it's a professional cleaning and it's $500, we would each just give $250 and everyone's happy and the deal's done, right? Why drag it on, get lawyers involved for something like the window covering were taken or professional cleaning?
And what bothered us the most was that this guy on closing, his realtor didn't tell him, or lawyer didn't tell him that he has to be in town for closing. They're to do a virtual closing, they have to have an affiliate office wherever these lawyers from Calgary, wherever this guy was. They picked the closing date. They moved it up. We agreed, fine, a quicker closing. The guy goes to Texas day of closing. I'm like, you could have lost your deposit, man, and you're busting my balls over window coverings. You could have lost $10,000,
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, work with us.
Yeah.
No. I was like, my God.
Yeah,
that just goes to show you have to, even if you have a good rapport with the other side and you assume, handshake deal and everyone's on board, if it's not in writing, nothing's going to be enforced, right? So
another very important reminder that I had on my first deal as a realtor ever, and I had good mentors in you and some of my other team members. When in new builds, when you're doing contracts, you have to make sure that all the appliances that you think are there are going to be there when it closes. Like sometimes builders will put, like a washer and dryer or something to make it look good for showings. And then you'll get there and there's no washer and dryer. And your buyer's like, you forfeit $10,000. So
they'll do it as part of staging.
Yeah,
right?
Staging.
But if it's not there in the goods included, the unattached goods, the chattels, as they call them,
just,
you have to get it.
I've learned to just be so specific on contracts.
Yeah, and
so specific.
And so specific with these new ones that you should just protect yourself and say as seen on MLS, as seen on this date, so that you can reference from that date. Yeah. Because what if during staging there's $5,000 set and you get there and it's like a $1,000 white,
off the corner.
Because that happens too a lot of times, and not just with new builds. It happens a few, not that often, luckily, but it does happen where you go in for possession and things are swapped out, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we like these. We bought them a year ago. We're gonna take them to our new place, and they'll just get other ones that they just got off Facebook Marketplace, right, for the new owners. So.
Yeah, I've seen some people do the whole thing where they'll grab the spec sheet from the builder and they'll have the builder sign the spec sheet, like initial every page thing, confirming that this is exactly what's going to be in the property for lighting and tile and finishes and whatnot. Yeah. So there's definitely quite a few things you can do to protect your client. But the problem with sometimes with those things, is that the builder won't provide the spec sheet, right? They won't provide the info. It's very hard to get the info sometimes.
Some builders are easy to work with. Some are
not.
like,
Yeah.
it depends on the level. It's like everything.
Yeah, everything. Other realtors,
Yeah,
some clients, right?
yeah.
We just have to make sure we conduct ourselves in the same way each time.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, you'll filter out those that may not respect your time or value. And
for sure.
just stay positive. Don't let a few deals get you down and stuff. So,
but it is amazing how many like in your experience, how many realtors would just like not care about like the deal.
Close today. I'm not helping you.
Yeah, it's
Click,
like
right?
well, I mean, yeah, we all due diligence.
Due diligence.
Due diligence. I hate that word. I can never do it. to do that. So,
Today, Junior.
Yeah. So
I had one realtor waive. He's supposed to waive conditions. We extended it 2-3 times, and the day he's supposed to waive the conditions, it's like Friday. It's like Friday night. Won't respond to me. Won't respond. I'm like, yo, man, what's going on, man? Writes back, yo, man, people have lives, man. It's the weekend. I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I tell my clients? Like, are you guys going to buy this house or not? If not, like, we got to move on.
Yeah. Give us a non-waiver and let us move on.
Yeah.
People have lives.
Yeah.
And we're at that property. We were waiting for the sewer pipe was blocked, but we didn't know if it was on city property or our property. So we were waiting for the city to come out, which I thought, they come out right away. That's another one I learned is if you explain to them, hey, blah, 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 they backburner you. But if you're like, it's an emergency, it's backing up, they'll come out right away. So we found out that right at the tie-in is where it wasn't on our property. So they waived conditions. That's fine, we'll buy the house.
Nice.
Yeah. But it took some work.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit about YYC, and we always ask our guests if there's one thing you could change, what would it be, and what's one thing you really love about living here and about YYC?
Well, first off, I love Calgary, YYC, because I was born and raised here, and so I love everything about Calgary. I love the all the different seasons. We have summer, even if it's, but we have really nice winters because Chinooks, and so I like the weather here. I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the the fall and all that stuff, and so I really like Calgary for that. I think Calgary has some of the best restaurants and cuisine. Like it's we're such a diverse culture here.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things I love about Calgary. What I don't like is how spread out it is and how
It's the size of New York. Calgary is it's the same size as New York.
So I wish downtown was denser and more vibrant. And, but Calgary's a new city, so it's culture wise, it kind of struggles compared to other places.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And and having said that, like even the culture part, it's like it seems like everything is really expensive, even when it's some say this Mexican restaurant or Indian restaurant, or they try to make it too fancy and just be like, come on, just
give me some butter chicken.
You know what I mean? Like kind of make it more accessible, or I don't know what the word is, but yeah.
Why'd you look at me when you said Indian restaurant? Just kidding.
Because I don't think there is many Pakistani restaurants.
There is.
Really?
There's quite a bit.
Which one's your favorite?
My house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pusa is my favorite, but they're
Bangladesh. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot.
But it's very similar, right?
Food's the same, culture's the same. India got broken up into many different cultures. But, differences of religion and languages and things like that. But the food, the culture, the clothes, it's all the same. And, of course, we all look the same. So. It's true. We're all India, and then all of a sudden, it's all these different countries. But we won't get into that. What I do want to get into...
Just a real estate show.
What I do want to get into is... we were talking before the show started here about a exciting new zoning in town,
I
right?
like zonings.
So
Yes.
Zonings are exciting.
this will help a lot of people that have property that fall within these jurisdictions. So the new zoning I want to talk about is called HGO. HGO is what people are calling it. And I'll just read over, and anyone can just go to the Calgary website or Google HGO zoning, and you'll find a lot of information. So I'll go over October of 2022. They approved these changes, but again, it takes time for them to come into effect. These changes came into effect January of last year. And what is HGO? It's a new housing district for the center and inner city that allows a range of grade-oriented housing. So it adds the options of higher intensity redevelopments than that of RCG, which was always predominantly desirable. So anyone that wanted an RCG, now they could even get a HGO. So where can you put it? Focus for this district is along busier streets with amenities close by. There are two ways to determine the appropriate location of HGO: through an approved local area plan and using location criteria. So what are the specific rules? So the maximum height, 3 stories, 12 meters, 1.5 floor area ratio, 60% coverage on the parcel of land. Minimum parking is half a stall, so per unit, but that's just math. And the permitted uses, this is an important one. The dwelling unit is a permitted use and can be built as long as the proposal meets the rules of this district. So the landscape obviously is required. And the storage unit, what else? There was some, here's some examples, right? Of what you could do. Instead of, so you have this property existing, but now on these properties you can, with HGO, you can create many more units.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm sure for some people it's incredibly exciting, and for others it's not so exciting, thinking that the Calgary is going to be more dense. I remember going door knocking, and this one lady in Montgomery was just so upset there's duplexes being built in her.
Yeah.
Very
Like on my street, I'm like one of the last R2 lots. The rest are infills and duplexes.
Yeah.
And parking is like nobody parks in their garage because the garages are too small.
Yeah.
So our parking is like
Crazy.
jammed now
Crazy.
on the street. Our street parking is busy. Everyone's got 2 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Minimum 2 cars usually.
So do you have to apply for that, or it's?
Yeah, you would have to apply to get a rezone to HGO.
But it's not as hard as it was before.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if any other cities in Calgary have done a similar approach or have done a similar thing.
Well,
How
it's
it's
kind
turned out
of
for
like,
them.
Ontario has
Yeah.
all these in place, like where here we can only build an infill. Well,
Mhm.
Ontario on the same plot of land, 50 by 120, they can do a fourplex all day long.
Yeah.
And we can't do that, right? We need a wider and longer lot to do a fourplex.
Yeah.
Whereas now with this change, you'll be allowed to do things like that.
Mm.
I was just seeing if we could get some more information on it.
Yeah. But I mean, the good news is with initiatives like this is that hopefully over the long term it's going to hopefully not increase housing costs as much and rental costs, because those are going crazy without enough inventory of rental and homes on the market.
Look at the following uses that are already approved and permitted. If you get HGO in your street or your land, these are the permitted uses already that come along with it. So accessory residential building, home-based childcare, secondary suite. So there's a lot of stuff that's
I like
already.
that.
Yeah. Let's have a look
Park.
at what this is telling you. Main residential building. May be attached to a backyard suite. Does not require stalls.
Maybe we'll make it easier to make carriage suites.
Yeah. Yeah, it's already like approved. It says
Yeah.
right there you can have a dwelling in the back.
When does this take
so
effect?
a dwelling must be 2 or more rooms. So to have like an additional dwelling, has to have a kitchen, living, sleeping, and sanitary facilities. None of that. But it's cool that it's already approved for childcare. Home business is already approved.
Yeah.
Secondary suites already approved. The biggest one is that they all come with the option of a secondary suite. It's already good to
Huge.
go.
Yeah.
But you have to fall under the
You have to be
Classifications,
you
yeah.
have to be approved to get rezoning to HGO, right?
Yeah.
And when does that take effect?
It's in effect.
It's in effect right
It's
now?
in effect.
January
Yeah.
2nd.
Yeah, it's in
Nice.
effect.
2023, so it's been in effect for.
Oh,
So I don't know why the release just. Did you just kind
Oh,
of?
weird. Yeah, it did say
Yeah, it was
2023.
Yeah, it was not 2024.
well, that what you clicked on said.
So
There
on
you see.
October 2022, the council approved the changes, making it more possible to build housing such as grade-oriented row housing townhomes in Calgary. These
So
changes
it's been a
came into
year.
effect
It's been a year.
in January 2023. But again, when it takes a year, all those people that make the applications, how long does it take for you to actually have your
And
Well,
for-
first
and for the
first
work to get
influx
out
of
too.
HGO, right?
For a legal suite, it takes about 3 months.
Yeah,
But that's if you're already zoned for that.
yeah.
Yeah, so probably more. Probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to
If
know.
your property falls into it.
Yeah. I wonder.
Cause yeah, you would be, cause you're
I'm
part
close
of
to
like
a train
inner city.
station, but I'm not. I don't know.
Do you remember that one article that said that, like, did it say that 60% of Calgary was automatically going to get rezoned?
Yeah, there was an article, but again, that all has to go through
Mm.
the councils and the boards and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a.
Because there's a lot of R1 lots that are just as big as R2 lots.
Yeah,
You know, like in Glendale. And
yeah, exactly.
it's weird.
Well, I'm sure they had, like, they didn't want to make, before they didn't want to overpopulate certain neighborhoods, so they probably just assigned
Mm-hmm.
certain R2 to whichever properties, but now with how Calgary's growing, do you guys, because I also read something that said that Calgary should be as big as Toronto in like 10 years or something like that. Do you guys believe that? Do you guys think
No.
that's possible?
I don't think it's possible.
Anything's possible, but it will take a lot of time.
Believer, yeah.
It will take
10
a lot.
years.
I mean,
not
look,
10 years.
we're-
Well, how
we're
many
at-
people live in Toronto?
Like 3 points?
GTA's got to be like
Yeah, the G.
3.2?
8, 9,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Maybe just yeah.
Let's have a look.
Oh.
But we're
Is
at
it
what?
really?
1.7, 1.6. What are we at?
1.6,
right?
I think.
Calgary. I'll look at it right now for us.
So-
Calgary population 1. Okay, no, 20.
I thought-
GTA is 5.9 million.
So
6
it's
million.
2023, yeah.
No, man. Then 10 years.
See, 1.6.
Yeah,
We're at
there's no way.
1.6,
Yeah.
and for us to get to
6 mil.
But
yeah, that's
can
a
you,
lot.
can you click
way.
on that link? I want to see how the population's growing. I wonder if it has a graph that we could view.
Oh yeah.
It went from 1.5 to 1.61 to 1.64,
So
2.2.
increasing.
and then
1.9,
1.665 in 2023.
Yeah, I would have to.
You'd have,
No, yeah.
Toronto would have to burn down. To get 6 mil in 10 years.
yeah.
Everyone from the Ukraine has
Sorry,
to come here.
Yeah, like,
We'll omit that from this.
yeah. Like, come on.
So there you go, 6.4.
Oh, Vancouver. I didn't realize. It's not that.
Yeah, even like
Toronto's. Yeah.
I'm going to Windsor.
I've been to Windsor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Marcelo, how can people reach out to you? Is there any social media handles you want to let
My
everyone know
social
about?
media is not that active. I have a phone number.
What's your Instagram?
It's marcelocorrea.ca.
We'll take that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's your
And-
website, of course, as well.
That's
But is that your Instagram page?
my Instagram page is marcelocorrea.ca.
Oh, it is.
It
Okay,
is.
Wow,
awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah. And Facebook, just Marcelo Correa.
Yeah, and spell.
MARCELO.
Yeah.
Correa CORREA.
Okay, and
.ca.
phone number. You said
Phone number
so-
403-999-7801.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any questions for us at all?
No. Yeah. Everything pretty standard.
Yeah, I like that. Simple. Perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks again for coming on. It was great to get to know you a little more, and for those viewers out there, another fellow great agent in town. If you're ever interested, you want to reach out to any one of us, we'd be love to help you out. and to share some cool stories about our experiences and learning things by going through them. We can read all the books we want, take all the courses we want, but until you're actually live doing deals is the only way you're gonna learn all the ins and outs about A to Z selling a property or buying a property.
Well, having said that, Shiraz has helped me out quite a bit with, I call him up and ask him questions. And I always found all these groups and YouTubers and this and that training. It's like everyone talks about marketing and Instagram and TikTok, but no one actually talks about how to do a deal, which is weird. And so that's kind of a side thing that
we can talk about it.
Shiraz has helped me out quite a bit with little questions. I'm like, anything. And it's like, yeah, do this, do that. But it's sometimes I feel like these trainers or whatever, these coaches they drop the ball on the real stuff. Let's
practice door knock scripts. Instead of let's do a contract and pretend we're buying this house.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and even having said that, contract, we're realtors, but it's a legal contract, and there's no lawyer that came into my training or anywhere and said, hey, this is what this means. Hey, this is what
Hey, put a dollar amount on your holdback.
Right.
Put the term holdback.
So things like that is it's nice to have a fellow realtor that is willing to answer the phone and take time.
Well, that's something that we could look into as a show, maybe do a session, one kind of not an episode of the update, but kind of walk through for realtors, what to look for in a contract. Obviously, province to province is different for
Well, I mean, and even for
Alberta,
even for the viewers out there, I mean, if you're looking to buy or sell, you're going to see these same contracts. You're going to sign them,
and you're going to want to know what you are signing and what you should sign and not. So that's actually not a bad idea. We should look into
we'll
that.
do it.
Yeah, do a
Should
live.
bring a lawyer on you.
A live, yeah.
We can do that. We don't need to, he means
Nevertheless,
go through a
it's
mock
good
purchase,
for
but
because some things are
But we could even have a lawyer, and
Yeah.
then we could write one bad contract and one good one and hand to him, and he could go, "This is good."
That's
this
a
is good.
great idea.
Honestly, or get a civilian in here, get a lawyer and a civilian.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all civilians.
Because they see contracts
every day.
hundreds of contracts,
Yeah.
so they'll be like, no, not that, no, this, do this, do that, right?
It would be beneficial for the consumer and other realtors to see exactly what a lawyer would recommend you put on the contract or what not to put on the contract.
Yeah, because who knows what they're saying every time they see our real estate contracts, right? Are they
Yeah.
huffing and puffing these
What an
realtors, right?
idiot.
I mean, the wording changes so much between contracts.
I know.
Every realtor kind of words it differently, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah.
it is weird. It should be more of a standard.
Always in that 9.2 other terms, there's always a paragraph.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone writes it different,
It's
right?
crazy. Something
Yeah.
with a quick bullet points or a paragraph and yeah, it's
And then
it's
how
a
about those?
handbook.
How about those clients that want to go then put that personal touch? I've had clients literally take the contract and want it old fashioned and printed, so that they can handwrite on the side of the contract on the top. We really love your home. We're a great family. Please give it to us.
Really?
It was really common when we were going through multiple offers, about a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
So it was really common to have a personal note accompany your offer from the buyer to the
I
seller.
did a couple of those. I never had them on the contract.
I had them
That's
if you
insane.
looked at the contract, it was blue ink border around the contract.
That's almost I wouldn't like that.
Did you have to initial those
Yeah.
Because it's on the contract.
It is, yeah.
So would you have to initial those notes and those comments and
A bunch of
heartfelt
doodles, a
messages?
little box.
Yeah.
It was
"Is the kid
literally
buying
just
this house?"
it was just an extra personal touch, and it worked. I mean,
Some flowers.
my client got that property, right, and they were thankful for those little notes.
Yeah.
So it's it's crazy the things you come across. Right?
I wonder if you're allowed to send contracts with a gift for the realtor. Is that
what do you
bribing?
mean gift?
If you were oh, here's a gift card for this place, is that considered bribing? If you gave a
Explain a little more.
if you had an offer,
Give me a scenario.
yeah, you have a buyer, right,
Okay.
and you're putting in an offer, and you contact the realtor, be like, hey, here's my offer, and here's a little gift.
That is bribery.
That
yes.
is bribery. Yes, that is illegal.
That is the definition of bribery. there's an incentive.
That's a suable
for you-
offense.
Yeah, there's an incentive there for you to accept my
Yeah.
offer, and here's the incentive. Here's a $500 gift card. Take
But
one.
what if it
What if
did
you got
nothing?
paid?
You just took the card, like, thanks.
What if it
We're
was
still not taking your offer.
Yeah, then you just gave away 500.
What if it was like client to client? Because you can write notes to a client. Like you can say like, because I had ones like, and you had them, where you write personal notes. But what if it's a personal note and a $50 gift card?
Well, they might just be like offer
Like
more
is
money.
that like you never know.
When it comes to like involving money, a gift card money, yes, that can bring up red flags and be
Like
bribery,
a
right?
hand knit sweater.
Like in anything, it's like when you're
Like a Christmas sweater. Like,
It's sweater.
that's gonna kill the deal for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's gonna not get you the house.
That's true. This sweater sucks.
This might be another topic, but the the bidding, like I don't get why there can't just be open bidding.
You and I talked about
Yeah,
this a
for sure.
lot about
You know what I
how there should be allowed to be an auction type scenario where if a seller agrees and says, yeah, I want the top and I'm getting 10 offers, so instead of these people going in blind, and we've all seen it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not discussing any property here, so it's free to talk about this, but I'll give some examples. So 5 offers come in for a property, and the winning offer does not know how much they outbid the second highest offer.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll see them, I've seen them as big as $40,000 difference when it should be $1,000, $2,000 if everyone knows, right? They'll just keep outbidding each other like an auction and go to their maximum. But I think it's a little unfair to the buyer who had to pay $40,000 over and above the second highest offer when $5,000 would have done it, $2,000 would have done it, right?
Yeah.
So
Do you think that's why Rika does it that way? What's the purpose of it being blind?
Maybe so people don't get bullied. Like the general consumer doesn't get bullied by maybe someone who has bigger pockets potentially.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
But it is.
That is tough to, that is, because I mean, there could be a $40,000 difference, or you could know someone's vulnerable and do 500 and they can't push 500, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, obviously, it's been a lot of thought put into why they do that, but.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, in some ways I like it, in some ways I don't. I feel like the closed, like the private bidding for properties is, I don't know, do you think it generates more money than an open auction for properties?
I think it would really have to be 50, almost 50-50.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe I could be wrong, like I said, but I think.
Well, I think
there'd be scenarios where it would be, and then the auctions where it wouldn't.
I think
be. It depends. I think it's
a mix of the both would probably yield.
well, and
the best
like
for
the
the
price
seller.
point of the house. Like if you're talking about like in the $100,000 to like $400,000
Yeah.
range, like I think private would get more money. I think, or it wouldn't hurt the buyers or sellers.
Yeah.
I think in the range of like 1.5 and up million, when people have that money to spend and they really want the house and it's kind of just throwing dollars to get it. I think.
Yeah.
But
Like there was one property that was listed really low. I remember like a year or so ago, and it was gutted. Like it was completely gutted.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everyone on MLS is like, "Wow, this place!" And you show up, there was like it was a going show. There was like lineup of people trying to get in there, and it's like, okay, so if it's someone that's renovating that home, buying it to renovate it, like Shiraz says, like they're thinking their dollar amount. Well, you got to put X amount in to renovate it. Fuck, they might have lost it for whatever. Who knows how much they lost the bid to the next person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think in a situation like that, open bid, and a guy knows how much he wants to spend, but it's like,
Yeah, I wish it would be that easy, but it's not. I was trying to look into it as we're talking here, and of course, the only options for you to auction your home and real estate auctions that are available are for foreclosures and things like that. And there is auctions that come into place, and they're advertising it as alternative ways to buy and sell a property aside from the traditional channels. You can auction it, but as you see here, a buyer, you have to qualify and register to get a bidding number and submit a refundable deposit, 5 to 10%. Starting price may be the balance owed on the mortgage. So none of this goes into that what we're talking about. Like, can we have it open instead of silent, right?
I mean, if it was optional, I could see it being more beneficial for the seller if you could do like a closed one to start, and then at the very end being like, everybody, this is the highest bid.
Well, what happens is
does anybody else want to put in another offer?
What happens is competing offers, you have the right, when you're representing just your seller and you see all these competing offers, you do have the right to go back to two of them, and say it's you two that are, and you have to be careful with your words, not disclose numbers, and say you two are very close. My seller likes your two offers, so can you two please revise and come one more time with your very best, and we'll choose the best one. So there's cases where those two best offers have a chance to be, and knowing that they're against only one other one, and see how much each side's willing to pay, and the seller's happy with that. They get much more. But
because one person can put 15K, another person can put 1,000.
Yeah, so
that's hard too. You never know like how much other parties
that's what we're getting at.
Yeah,
like it's kind of unfair for a buyer.
It is.
Yeah, I mean for my buyers, I would tell them in that situation, like, what number are you comfortable losing the property at? Like if there's $1,000 more than that number, then you'd be happy losing it, right?
Yeah.
But I've had the situation where they put in their final number, and then when they see how much it was, they're like, I would have paid that much. I would have paid more.
Yeah, I've had buyers say that to me too. They're like, I'm only gonna put $350, and then it sells for $365. I would have paid $365. I said, this is the discussion we had. If you're willing to pay $365, you should have put $365, right?
Did you guys hear the story of this lady? She had an acreage outside of Calgary. This was a few years ago, and this more than a few years ago. The real estate market was bad in Calgary, and she wasn't selling her house. She was giving her house away. But to enter into this contest, you had to pay $10 and write a story of why your family deserves this home. And then this lady she got in trouble by the lottery commission or whatever.
Yeah.
But it turns out she didn't do anything illegal. Anyways, but it was a $10 entry to send this letter, and she got so much. She got like way more than the house was worth.
Oh wow!
And then she picked someone and gave them that house.
She's happy. They're happy.
That's a different way of selling,
Yeah.
Whoa.
So she didn't give her house away. She wasn't offering to give it away. She was selling her
Practically,
house.
No, she's
home lottery, right?
Home lottery. Yeah, but not a lottery, because it was you'd have to look up the story, but it was pretty interesting. But she got a ton of entries, like way more than what the house is
kind of
worth.
like so basically same model as the yearly hospital home lottery, and
but you had to write something in. So she read through all the entries and you had to write why you deserve this home.
Yeah,
and she would pick someone because she didn't want to just give the house away to anybody. She wanted to give it
Sounds
to
like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Man, she made like double.
crazy.
It must have been more than $10 an entry then, because like if she has an acres, it would have sold for like at least $500K. That's a lot of entries. That's a lot.
I think the place was worth. Yeah.
So she kept everyone's $10 lotto ticket and then gave it to one of
Like, would you, if you had a chance, would you enter it for $10?
I would.
Yeah,
You might win a house.
$10 and write a story. Be like, me and Tiny Tim, we need a place.
I had to be
Have a story?
Yeah, like, it'd be so bad. But.
Yeah.
says on here you're.
Anyways.
Anyways.
It's all good.
Yeah, we'll probably cut that out.
All right. Well,
Okay.
it's been a pleasure.
Says on here you were
Marcelo.
paraplegic and you're walking up here no problem.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're done.
That's a good place to end it.
Thank you
What
for
do you
watching.
mean, guys?
Hey, this is my outro. Thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, that was episode 41 of the YYC Real Estate Show, and we will see you next week.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Take care.